microphone on. This on microphone on.
Oh, what now?
Recording has started. Oh,
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the council meeting. Dave is away today. Dave is on the base with Industrial Heartland and is on his way to Prince Rupert. So welcome. Okay, how many online do we have?
I don't
Oh,
know,
you don't-
because it speaks by.
Oh, okay. Welcome everybody online. Okay, I guess we'll start the adoption of our meeting this morning. Any of the sheets, where?
It was strange to make some followers to want to be made.
You're not wearing your jersey, so that's not.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Yep. Okay, very good. Is there anything from administration? No addition, we will only be handing out a replacement for page and routine as a typographical error. Okay. So can I have a mover for the agenda, please?
Okay, I move that Lamont County Council adopted June 10th, 2025 regular council meeting agenda as presented.
All in favor?
Yeah.
There you go. Adoption of the minutes. Everybody read the minutes of the last meeting?
I'm sorry, the sound seems to be really low. Could you try to speak a little bit louder into the microphone?
Okay.
I'll make a motion that Lamont County Council adopt the May 27, 2025 regular council minute or meeting minutes as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Yes, no, schedule of fees, this. Here, so, heard most of the deliberations in November and December, news, they pointed out the, an anomaly in our fees and charges schedule, which, indicated it needed to be fixed. We did not include those adjustments, fees and charges that were approved. So we on December 10th, so we're bringing forward that adjustment now.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's perfect there. It's a little acre.
Thank you, Mr. Kowalski, for the deputy review and members of council. As Mr. Kowalski said, the in your package, page 19, you'll see that cash in lieu of municipal reserve was changed. Previously, it was $2,500 per hectare. And the intention at the time was to change it to $2,500 per hectare for agricultural zoning, and all other zones are provided in a free zone.
Actually, it's per acre.
Per
Sorry.
acre, yes. Sorry, per acre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so per acre, so that,
Mid-year.
Yeah.
and so that is the revised page that Ms. Benoit had brought out, is the one that says per acre. You'll see that there is a little clause at the bottom here as well. Fees for process not included in this table with the discretion of the planning director based on comparable application type. So that is the only change to the fees and charges schedule. You'll see everything else in here has remained the same. So this is to, as Mr. Kowalski said, to put into place what was discussed at the budget meetings.
So at the budget meetings, we got half of it in. We did change the the municipal reserve setting for, to 2,500 per acre, but the issue is it should only be for the agriculture zoning, because industrial zoning, as an example, will be valued at much more than $2,500 an acre. And so this is where we just want to specify that they would need to provide an appraisal as part of their subdivision process, which is actually reflected in the Municipal Government Act, so we're aligning with. We just want to make sure that we're collecting the right amount of fees on our industrial or commercial lands, and this would allow us to do that.
And I believe that the other part of that is if somebody in the agriculture area feels it's too much, they
Yeah.
can get an appraisal and it'll be at that
Who
appraisal.
does the appraisal?
Professionals do the appraisals. There's a number of professional in Alberta that provide that service. We don't provide recommendations.
And that would be done by the developer who's saying.
Yeah. And so they submit that as part of their subdivision application, and then we make that part of the decision. We'll determine how much municipal reserve is owed based upon that appraisal. So this only really affects industrial lands or those people that want to provide an appraisal because they want to lower the 2,500.
Any more questions?
Well, this add-on line here in the bottom.
Yep.
The discretion of the planning, if they're, if it's goes to an appraiser, what do we need this line for?
Oh, that's just for other fees. It was missed as well in the other bylaw. So sometimes, there is some random thing we do once every 10 years that we don't have captured in a bylaw. And this would just allow me to go ahead and set a fee based upon the amount of time that we spend on it. Looking at the other types of fees that are in here without having to come back to council. If that's an issue, we can remove that. It just means that if somebody applied for something that's not within the fee bylaw, we would have to put them on hold, come to council, set the fees, and then let them proceed. So this is just something for convenience for our applicants. A good example is this last year, we had a request for a subdivision cancellation. We didn't have a fee for it. It turns out that the gentleman didn't apply for it after all. We ended up setting a fee for it because we're like, oh, here's one that we're missing. But you don't know what you don't know. So this is just to capture whatever we may not have thought of.
And obviously, if a person does not agree with the fee, they can come to council, but this prevents us from having to come to council every time you encounter that kind of a situation.
So some of these, we built a building and we did it for under 300 grand, and when it came time to insure it, the insurance company said, from what other people are building, they said it was worth 160 grand more, so for $160, they insured it for that money, but it didn't cost me that much to build it, but they said to replace it probably would, so if one person gets a deal and then puts in an application and the other guys didn't get a deal, then he's got to pay what the other guys pay.
Understand what you're describing, yeah, falls into this situation.
Yeah, these are just application fees, like $1,000 per development permit or something like that. And if there's some kind of application that somebody would be applying for to us that isn't listed here, I would just find the closest fee and then charge them that. That's all it says.
Well, what I'm getting at is you guys base the building permit on what the building's gonna cost.
Yes, that's correct. So the inspections group, who was our contractor, the building permits are based upon the cost of a building. If somebody proposes, let's say there's $1 million structure and they say, oh, it's only going to cost me 100,000. The building inspector does have the authority under the Safety Codes Act to change the value to something more reasonable. It has not happened since I've been here, so I don't know what circumstances it is, but that's the safety codes and that's already in here. Like this doesn't affect it at all.
And I would assume that your question, so with the fact that insurance they're thinking about replacement value in the future, not
Yeah.
building costs.
When I built the building, it was on just under 300 grand and, then insurance came and said it would be 100 and whatever, about 500 grand to rebuild it, so, just cause I got a deal and the neighbor didn't, I'd have to pay on the fee, I'd have to pay on 140 or 150 grand more on my permit.
I see what you're.
Yeah, that's it, Danny, I built it for under 300 grand and insurance said that everybody else, so they said, why is yours so low? And I sent all everything in and they did the inspection, everything's good, so.
That he would have been paid on the 300.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The we would have paid on the three,
Insurance is a separate line.
yeah.
No, the insurance appraised it, but what I'm getting at here with the line, so if somebody got a deal and the appraiser figured just I got a deal, got the building built for 100 grand less, any kind of building. Then I gotta pay on 100 grand because everybody else got overpaid, right?
That's not what this means, but I understand your concern.
Yeah, you're talking about a commercial or industrial. Fees, we're talking about cash in lieu of municipal reserve, not this issue.
Yeah, that's a whole other section
Yeah.
of the fee bylaw that's already in place. And the ability to reassess is under Safety Codes Act, which is a provincial law. I have no ability to change that, so I can't address it at this time.
Well, what I'm getting at, you'd be able to make up costs without council's input. Cause it'd be here, you do it and then the council has to live with it.
It's said though that if the vendor or the customer is not happy with that. They can put their application on hold and come back to council.
No incentive for an excessive fee charge.
No.
Where there is no fee, we'll apply something that it reflects. Level of work and value.
This happens so rarely that if you guys are worried about it, just remove that thing at the bottom.
Any more questions? No. Dave has. Did I have something?
I move,
Just wait, we have to do the first reading? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, I move Lamont County Council give first reading bylaw 892.25. Being a bylaw to set the fees for services, information, applications, or appeals provided to the public.
All in favor? Gary? Gary?
Yep.
Do the next one?
Yeah, I make a motion that Lamont County Council give second reading bylaw 892.25. Being a bylaw to set the fees for services, information, application, or appeals provided to the public.
All in favor? Yeah.
No, I don't agree with that bottom line, so I haven't been in favor for these.
If you don't get unanimous consent, then we'll have to deal with this in a couple weeks. Okay, I'll move the next one. Lamont County Council. Give unanimous consent. To the third and final reading bylaw 892.25. Being the bylaw to set the fees for services, information, applications, or appeals provided to the public. All in favor? Carried.
Well, are you gonna vote? No, I'm not in favor, I've been,
Well, you should say against, because this is.
Well, I'll-
Consent, therefore, if there isn't unanimous consent, so we stop.
I wasn't voting on, right along, I don't agree with that one on there.
Yeah, if you don't have unanimous consent, that's how the process is. Well, Mr. Deputy, Lead Apologies, a couple of weeks ago, you received an update, I believe it was in closed session.
Yes.
On matter dealing with the processed water line intake. Today we're here to provide a more public update, given some developments, as well as to share with you a media release that will be published in the hours to come. Go ahead, Mr. Please.
So as council's aware, back in, end of April, Alberta Environment Protected Areas issued an approval to Lamont County for the construction and operation of the intake, processed water intake. And so subsequent to that approval being issued, Alberta Environmental Appeals Board received notices of appeals from each of the neighboring landowners that had submitted statements of concern to the county's Water Act application in 2024. In review by administration of each of the notices of appeal, it was determined that the concerns raised in each notice were well beyond the process of water main structure, but rather were primarily to do with the proposed water main, which was not part of the Water Act approval. In consideration of the content of the appeals, Lamont County requested Alberta Environment Protected Areas to issue a decision on the overall project, including the proposed water main, knowing the same landowners would submit the same or similar notices of appeal. It made no sense for the residents nor the county to endure the cost nor time to address two appeal processes, since the appeals processes are lengthy and can become costly for all parties involved. As a result, on May 29th, Alberta Environment Protected Areas issued a license to Lamont County to operate the water intake and divert up to 4 million cubic meters per year of water, as shown on the attached. Administration is currently working with the Alberta Environmental Appeal Board to schedule mediation meetings in September. In parallel to the appeals process, we're also continuing to work on with the county's owners representative, who is WSP, to begin the process of procuring full design, engineering, and construction suppliers. It is anticipated that we will be able to undertake broad communication and consultation with the community in the months to come and be in a position to complete the procurement later this year, subject to council approval. So as shown, starting on page 36, we have received the license under the Water Act. This is our full license allowing diversion up to 4 million cubic meters per year. There are a number of particulars throughout this license. If council has any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions?
Just happy that they got the water license through by.
Right.
There's that, you got a license binding, right?
So this, yeah, so are the original thought process, we applied for the approvals, so allow us to continue with the design. And we would apply for a license once we were further in. As I said, with the appeal we have received on the approval, we can't really deal with them until we actually apply for the license. So this is just allowing us and the adjacent landowners to deal with everything at once and not go through the same process.
About approving the license, Alberta Environment essentially agrees that we would address things through one process of consultation and appeal rather than multiple appeals.
So the 30-day appeal period was ended on the approval, but the 30-day appeal period on the license is still active. So that'll be up until June 27th, I think. We have been notified there have been a couple of appeals issued, but not from all of the same that have submitted on the.
Do they media release?
Just for the record.
So we've been working with the mediator appointed by the Environmental Appeals Board to establish some times we would like to meet. It looks like that will be in September, but based on availability of the appellants, it might bleed into October. The process does allow us to continue with matters of determining specifications of design, etc., which may in fact help us through to address the concerns of the issuers of statements of concern. This will also allow us to start consulting more broadly in the community on this matter.
And while the license is issued based on the preliminary design drawings provided by Worley, the also known as Vision, that was working on our behalf through the Bird Industrial Heartland. As we get through the detailed design, we will be able to go back and make amendments if there are any major changes, as they were preliminary designs. They were not detailed designs or IFC drawings.
Any questions? Mr. Boyko is just going to get the media release for your information.
Okay.
Yes. You would run up the question. So let me read to Councilor Wick's question. This is simply a receives information, a recommended motion. They can read this. Can we take?
Make a motion on the Lamont County Council accept the update on the water process intake project as information.
All in favor? Yeah. Carried. County bridge program updates. Peter?
Deputy Reeve, we received a letter from Great Transportation with regards to the SPIT program. You will note that the news is good as far as additional bridges, but Mr. Dietz is here to provide an update on what will occur in 2025 on our bridge program.
So as included in the 2025 budget, we've been working with our bridge consultants to complete the design of 3 bridge replacement projects for 2025. Those being bridge files 74082, 74671, and 74805. In November 2024, with council's approval, we submitted 8 applications to the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program for Alberta Transportation. The applications were for 2 planned projects for this year, as well as for 6 future projects. It should be noted, bridge file 74082 was previously approved for STIP grant. As shown in the attached letter that Mr. Garenoski referenced, all of Lamont County's applications were unsuccessful for the 2025 program year. Current update of the 3 ongoing projects, bridge file 74082. This is the bridge located on Range 183, approximately 1 kilometer south of Highway 15. The current structure is a set of 1800 millimeter diameter culverts, and the new structure will be a 2400 millimeter diameter culvert that will require a slight raise in the road grade at the culvert location. Bridge file 74671 is on Range 172, south of Township Road 564. It's currently a arch culvert with a diameter of just over 2.1 meters and a span of 1.5, or a height of 1.5. The new structure will be an 1800 millimeter diameter culvert. And finally, 74805 is located on Range 172, just north of Temple Road 542. This is another arch culvert, 1.8 meters in diameter by 1.1 meters high. The new structure will be a 1600 diameter culvert. The engineering has been completed for all 3 projects, and we're continuing to work with the adjacent landowners to complete the purchase of small areas of land that are required on either side of each project. Upon successfully obtaining the required land, we intend to issue tenders for each project in late June or early July and present the tender results to council in August for review and award. With construction to start in September and be completed by the end of the fall.
Any questions? Deputy Reeve, in discussion yesterday, Reeve, who reviewed the agenda and had some questions. He asked whether neighboring municipalities had received new STIP grants.
Right.
And I am aware that Two Hills County received approval for one bridge, presumably replacement. And while I don't know the number, I understand that Bedford has also received STIP approval. So they got 8 last year and they got at least one this year.
And we didn't get anything,
We will be reaching out to Alberta Transportation, trying to schedule a meeting with them and go through, find out whether our neighboring municipalities just have their infrastructure is that much worse than ours, there's something missing on our applications. You know, if we're unable to secure STIP grants, year after year, we're on the hook for those because, either we let them fall apart and close them,
yeah.
or we spend our own money. So having STIP grants will allow us to invest in our infrastructure and keep our road network usable for the public.
Yeah, that's unreal. You know, last year 8. We didn't get any. This year again.
So last year we did get one, for 74082. But yes, for 8 applications this year.
Any questions or discussion? Can I have a mover for information?
I move that Lamont County Council accept the county bridge program update from June 10th, 2025 as information.
All in favor? Carried.
Deputy Reeve will have Mr. Dietz remain in hot seat.
Okay.
Bringing forward a report that's consistent with budget approvals that has to do with the tendering for acquisition and creators to be delivered. Since.
So keeping in line with the council's process over the last 2 years, we're here this morning asking council to authorize us to proceed tendering agreement for 2026. As previously presented to council, the greater fleet is currently comprised of a combination of John Deere and Caterpillar graders. Graders vary slightly in size, but all are equivalent to the one front assist. Due to previous decisions to withhold purchasing replacement units, Lamont County currently has a fleet with 2 units that are out of warranty and a third unit that's expired in 2026. Should Lamont County continue to purchase 2 units per year with a 7-year, 10,000-hour warranty, the entire grader fleet will be running under warranty by 2029, thereby achieving council's objective. By tendering now, the county believing will take delivery of the new units in early 2026. However, we do understand the council may choose to withhold from tendering until after the general municipal election in October. Should council direct staff to proceed upon the closure of the tender, and administration will bring the tender results to council for review and award at once. Currently for 2025, council authorized the purchase of 2 motor graders for a combined price of 1.322 million. And the quoted prices would be reflected in the proposed 2026.
Any questions or? Sure. So. This is just for information then, right?
No, we're asking for direction. So we are asking council to authorize us to tender for the supply of 2 graders for delivery in 2026. Alternatively, if council feels it's not in a position to authorize, alternative 2 would be Lamont County Council Direct Administration to not proceed with tendering until after the municipal election.
But that would throw us out of,
That would, yeah, we
Yeah.
would be looking, if we waited until after the municipal election, realistically with the timing of council meetings, we would be looking at an award either right before Christmas or right after. And with a minimum 4 months delivery timeline.
no, my recommendation would be to go ahead as you have scheduled.
Yeah, the county's gonna keep running if we don't get elected.
No.
Somebody's gonna do it and it still needs to be done. It's a process, right?
And we discussed it yesterday with the reef. That it just throws everything out of kilter. So any other questions or concerns? If not, can I have a mover?
Lamont County Council Direct Administration to tender for the supply of 2 all-wheel drive motor graders for delivery in
2026.
Well, favor?
Thank you.
If you read on page 50, we have sponsorship requests. We have 2. Is, and there is here to,
Right. Yeah, so since last council met, there's been 2 sponsorship requests received. One is from the Lamont High School Grad Committee. They have in the past few years, last year was an anomaly in which council did not provide a sponsorship to these individuals for their grads. That being said, they didn't request funds here. But in previous years, it has been something that council has looked at and done. Lamont Fish and Game is also put forward a request for funds as well. They have made a request this year already. However, upon doing a little digging, that request was specifically for a fundraiser dinner that they were having. So Lamont County provided them some money for that specific dinner, $200 for the dinner and food. This request, as you'll look at it, is a little broader to sponsor initiatives and activities in the upcoming months ongoing, which is something they've come to county council before and asked for.
so the specific requests are on page 57 and 58. You may remember that the fishing game folks are making some investments in their amenity to put out aeration for the fish ponds, to keep the fish on. So, any questions? Not, I get it moving.
I move that Lamont County Council provide the Lamont High School Grad Committee with a $500 sponsorship.
All in favor? Yeah, Gary? For the fishing game?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that Lamont County Council provide the Lamont Fish and Game with a $500 sponsorship.
Favor? Great. Thank you. Next one is the rescind record management policy. 4169. Yeah, you read page 59 report. In the last meeting, council approved the bylaw and the policy memory serves. And then has been willing to file a policy, and there is an earlier policy, meaning 2 policies or something, that was not rescinded appropriately. So this is kind of a hygiene item cleanup. Just to have who's provided.
Good evening, council. Thank you. Yes, this policy 4169 is from 2009, and as far as I know, we haven't been looking at it for a long time. It should have been submitted with represented by all that was one of 2023, but has been approved. So I am asking council to use this in this policy. So our new bylaw that was approved with 3 meetings in the last council meeting. And with,
Just to restate this one, just one that replaced it already, eh?
yeah, our bylaw.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Can I have somebody move that we rescind?
Make a motion that Lamont County Council rescind record management policy 4169.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will endeavor to be more careful in the future. Next, we have the follow-up action list on page 66 to about 72. We continue to make our way through this process. And many of them are ongoing. Some have specific dates identified when we expect them to come back. And I don't know if they are complete. If you have questions on any, then please use the index number and we'll attempt to answer your question.
My favorite, number 31.
You may have noticed in the agenda that we have closed session item called enforcement activity update. Probably will provide an update. That's the big. I'd have been concerned if you hadn't raised it.
Number 20, those go to supposedly yes or?
So. Units 36, 1336 and 1339 are currently listed through a third party. Unit 1154, 1525 and 1373 have gone to auction. 1373 and 1525 sold, and there's another one just last week. There's another one here, number 29 was when you left that sales. And 1154, I think 1373 we're going to the wholesale auction.
Good.
They're going or they're there now?
They're there now. I'm not sure of the exact sale date of the wholesale auction.
We could just run this ending today.
Yeah.
But I didn't see them there yesterday.
What are these units?
So 1154 is a Chevrolet half-ton pickup.
Oh, okay.
1525 is the actual hot box that's sold through Charlotte.
Yeah.
1336 and 1339 Raiders, and 1373. So. Which I can't remember the motion. Oh, that, yeah, it was a small packer. That one is posted through the vendor we purchased that, and then 1220 under number 29, that was our gravel trucks that council authorized last year to sell. The other 2 units that sold last year. So we
The other two are what, sorry?
the 1247 and 1249 were 2 2-ton trucks that sold last year.
Okay.
We had some 29 somethings, and under number 20, the only items after today will just be the 3 we have listed in third-party coverage.
The Darby, what's happening to Heartland Station when that
orange truck though.
So I do have the updates, making the cycles a lot of light. I just got some information this morning. I haven't even had a chance to read our saving. Good.
I've said the move that
I move Lamont County Council accept the follow-up action item report for June 10th, 2025 as information.
all in favor? Yeah. Carried. Rick. Do you have any motion to go into? Yeah. Yeah, can we get somebody move into regular to committee in the whole?
I move that Lamont County Council move the June 10th, 2025 regular council meeting into committee of the whole meeting at 9:41 a.m.
All in favor, sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, municipal election qualifications. So Deputy Reeve, visited a lot of the regular updates to council and frankly to the broader community on matters dealing with the municipal election. The province is tweaking this somewhat regularly. This one deals with qualification of candidates.
Thank you, Mr. Janovsky. Committee of the whole and all interested individuals. This is brought forward to you to emphasize the candidate qualification requirements stated in the Local Authorities Election Act as it was changed. So some of the things are still remain as they were in the last election. Some of the things have changed, and that's why I would like to read this to you today. So in this section 21 of the Local Authorities Election Act, every time when it mentions city, it means a municipality whose formation orders specifies that municipality to be a city or whose status is changed to a city after its formation. What a person may be nominated as a candidate in any election under this act if on nomination day, the person is eligible to vote in the election. B has been a resident in the local jurisdiction and the ward. In our case, it's a division. Yeah, if any, for the 6 consecutive months immediately preceding nomination day. A candidate or a person is not eligible, so ineligible, to become candidate in a municipal election, according to the Local Authorities Election Act, if section 22.1, a person is not eligible to be nominated as a candidate in any election under the act, if on nomination day, the person is an auditor of the local jurisdiction for which the election is to be held. Or B, subject to subsection 4, the person is an employee of the local jurisdiction for which the election is to be held, unless the person takes a leave of absence under this section. Or C, the person is indebted to the municipality of which the person is an elector for taxes in default exceeding $50, excluding from that amount any indebtedness for current taxes and any indebtedness for arrears of taxes of which the person has entered into a consolidation agreement with the municipality, unless the person is involved in any money to under the agreement. Or the person is indebted to the local jurisdiction for which the election is to be held for any debt equaling or exceeding $500 and in default for more than 90 days. And the person has within the previous 10 years been convicted of an offense under this act the Election Act, the Election Finances and Contribution Disclosure Act, or the Canadian election. So the local authorities election act allows Lamont County to require by our 2025 municipal election bylaw a criminal record check, which from any potential candidates, which needs to be done and provided to the municipality with nomination papers between July 21st and September 22nd. That's noon, that's when the nomination ceases, nomination period ceases. The 2025 municipal election bylaw of Lamont County also requires potential candidates to pay a nomination fee of $100. This is the deposit. Lamont County's website provides frequent updates on the 2025 municipal election page. If you look at the website, you see that the rural municipality of Alberta, in cooperation with Alberta municipalities, is offering workshops for potential candidates. We have a link there that interested parties could participate. It's very interesting to listen to what actually council's job description is. And other than that, I will provide you with more updates as I get more information and we get closer to the election date.
If I can supplement this reminder to council, we're collaborating with the towns and villages within Lamont County to offer a candidate orientation for those interested in running, so that they further understand what the requirements of the council are, and that's going to be very legal on this day. The date is still be.
I got a question here on election bylaw. Let's see if I can. Oh, yeah, the criminal check
Yes.
between July 21st and September 22nd. Is that when it has to be done in between those dates or?
Be 90-day eligible.
So the 90 days, that's what we wrote down in our municipal election line.
Okay, so you can't do it
Now,
now. You have to do it at, okay, yeah,
so it's very current.
okay. Very good. Any other questions? No. Yo.
Yes.
Say,
We put one.
yeah, okay, Lamont County Council, Lamont County Committee of the Whole accept the report on the 2025 municipal election qualifications of candidates as information.
All in favor?
Your council?
Next.
Deputies, we are periodically bringing forward updates on the Women's Annual Charitable Golf Tournament. Mr. Olson is here to provide an update. We're on page 76.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And very good news in the golf tournament. And in fact, there's some updated numbers that are different from when I wrote this report about a week ago. It turns out we are progressing quite well. We're now 85% sold out for the golf tournament. We've got a few single golfer spots left available, as well as 6 silver sponsorships for sale and a few bronze. So if we need to, if all those silvers don't sell, we'll be able to free up a few more golf spots because each silver sponsor is awarded 2 golf spots. So if we don't sell all those, we'll free up a few more golf spots. So yeah, very successful. So we've now invoiced over $50,295 in revenue. And again, just a reminder for those watching at home or online, all proceeds of this year's tournament, council has determined will go to the Lamont County Food Bank for both the building fund and the hamper program. The tournament is happening August 21st, of course, out at Whitetail Crossing Golf Club in Mundare. We do have 14 confirmed hole sponsors and 4 remaining for sale. We have 9. We've sold out of the gold sponsorships. We have 9 in the monthly better, including a number of our key suppliers at the county have stepped up to be gold sponsors as well. We've sold 1 silver and 1 bronze sponsorship. We're working on another bronze sponsorship as well. Council will again have the barbecue that you're hosting at the clubhouse featuring smokies, hot dogs and hamburgers. We've done a partnership again with Sinichi as well around some of the food provision. And then we have your Ukrainian feast dinner provided at the end of the tournament. So we're still actively collecting prizes. So for anybody in your network that has swag prizes they want to donate to approximately 140 golfers, we're still accepting those at this point in time as we work to put our prizes together. This year we will have a silent auction, which will be hosted by the Food Bank volunteers at the tournament, as well as the 50-50 draw. Mulligan tickets will also be for sale as well as part of it. Yeah, inside your package, you will notice there's a poster with the updated details there as well. Again, it's a continental breakfast being provided. Shotguns start that day at 9:30, and then we'll have the program to follow around 4 o'clock once we conclude the day. So all in all, look very encouraging. Even with some slight increases to our sponsorship fees this year, hasn't really seemed to damper too much the enthusiasm and the interest we've seen from residents. So we have some residents coming to golf, as well as a number of our heartland businesses are either sponsoring or golfing in the tournament. I would say probably 80% of them are coming out that day. So we're very encouraged by that, as well as the participation from some of the villages and towns in the broader Lamont County area, whether it be Andrew, Mundare, Woodbine, Village, Chipman, and others will also be in attendance, as well as Strathcona County. They typically send a council representative as well.
This is an out of interest. Our price at $165 is very reasonable. Well, adjacent municipality is charging $260 for.
Yeah. We're in a good spot for pricing. And yeah, we're encouraged by the positivity around that.
Was it Whitetail that doesn't charge as much?
Is Whitetail in charge?
Yeah, no, like, okay, charge it, did they charge it
Oh.
per golfer?
Yeah, they charge us a fee, but what we found is, other than normal sort of inflationary annual costs, their fees have remained quite consistent
Yes.
over the last 3 tournaments. They have had to bring in an additional cost to us because non-golfers some extra golf carts, so there's an extra cost there. But overall, we're going to be meeting with them around some more specific logistics this Thursday. Just to kind of walk through. We always have a lessons learned spreadsheet. What did we learn from the last tournament?
Right.
How do we make improvements for the next one? So we'll be working with them on that as well. Couple of examples are making sure there's enough volunteers on site to clean tables, set up tables, shuttle golfers to the holes, and make sure the sponsors get to where they need to be. There's a lot of that, and we wouldn't be able to do this without the staff. Not only public works staff that help bring things out there, but our family and community services staff are instrumental that day in pulling all of this off.
Excellent. Hey, any questions?
For the next. Yeah, that is.
Oh, where you at?
No, go ahead, this.
Should be. I'll make a motion that Lamont County Committee of the Whole accept the Reeves Annual Golf Tournament update for June 10th, 2025 as information.
All in favor? Carried.
Very good. This next item that we read is an interesting one because it has both an information and a demonstration component to it. Mr. Olson will take you through it, you'll point out that this is a key initiative in the approved business plan. And then again, demonstrate it.
Yes, so as Mr. Jadowski said, we have initiative 1.5 in our business plan, 2005 to 2027. That talks about creating an interactive map of our industrial heartland properties. Whereby landowners have put up their hand to say, yes, we'd like to sell. We've worked quite closely with local intel, which is our economic development tool provider. At no additional cost to get this map integrated into a series of places on our website, including our Why Lamont County page, like why choose Lamont County. I'm going to demonstrate for you here in a moment. I'll take over Christiane's seat momentarily. But essentially, what this does is it allows people to hover over the properties. It will tell them the size of the parcel, the legal description, so they can, if they choose, go to land titles to pull the land ownership information, or they could contact economic development. So this is really a matchmaking opportunity for people, the real estate community and others, companies themselves, to call me, and I will then connect them with the landowners. This way, it prevents unnecessary wasted time, maybe companies going after parcels where the landowners aren't prepared to sell at this time. And it allows us to focus in and perhaps be more successful. We've been doing this for quite a few years, even before I came to the county, but the map hasn't been updated in a couple of years. So the idea is every few months, as that new data comes in as well, because I know this will gain in popularity once we launch it out, put out a press release, more people might want to be on it. We will add people to it. If they want to come off, they can come off. So we've got their explicit consent through, because of FOIP, Freedom of Information, Protection of Privacy, to list their property on there, and then contact myself for more information. I'm going to kind of show you what it does with the various toggles and layers. Just bear with me while I transition to this other desk.
This is something new we're incorporating into council meetings, a small musical chairs.
Yeah. Okay, so for those watching at home, this is the, if you go to lamontcountynow.ca website, you can find this a couple different ways. You can find it through economic development tools, maps and graphs, or Why Lamont County. And I'll just show you here through the tools and graphs. So on here, we have a number of key icons around quality of life, market advantages, workforce advantages. And there's a property search, which allows people to pull up all the listings from realtor.ca, as well as another program called spacelist.ca, which allows people to upload their real estate listings. But under this growth and opportunities tab is where this new layered lives. And so I think all the counselors, you can see the green tiles. The green tiles represent, I guess you have about 40 or so, 30 to 40 different parcels. Not necessarily landowners, because the landowners sometimes own multiple parcels. But 30 to 40 parcels identified on here, whereby landowners can, when you hover over, so if you pick a parcel, it will show you the short legal description, that the acres, the land use is identified, and then a contact number for the county. But when we go to categories, there's a number of toggle tools that allow us to interlay a land use. So agricultural land use, you'll see them come on, the environmental conservation area north of Bruderheim, hamlet land use out at Star, the heavy industrial land use, which is purple. And so members of the public can toggle on the various aspects of basically our land use map and see how that interchanges with all the properties. They can then also see our rail assets, both PKC and CN. They can see the areas where no heavy petrochemical can go, as well as some of the special land use requirements that we have in play. So it's a good solution because we can't necessarily be giving out landowners' contact information. That's not something we're able to do. So this allows the real estate community to prospect and potentially sign up landowners. If landowners want to put their package on the marketplace, that gives them more exposure. And so the next step to this would be working with the Alberta Hub, our Regional Economic Development Initiative has a project to get properties uploaded to the new provincial Alberta dashboard site selector tool. And so the work here now is to try to get this integrated into the provincial system so that it gives us more exposure, which is something the province is really promoting to investors and real estate agents as well. We could not have done this without our GIS technician. I want to make sure that's clear. Nicholas, he's been very key on helping us do this, as well as Jay Zal in communications. There was a lot of background with some of the text. And again, our local intel data provider was instrumental as well. Are there any questions on this tool? I can show you one other place where it lives before we move on. So we have our main kind of why Lamont County page, why invest in Lamont County, which has a number of assets around rail infrastructure, road infrastructure, skilled workforce charts, labor, data, talent pipeline. But as you scroll to the bottom, we've also taken an opportunity to integrate this map right here, industrial land opportunities within the why choose Lamont County page. And then down below that, oh look, there's the realtor.ca and the space list information. So you can see what the brokers put out there, because not every property has a broker. A lot of our properties in Lamont County are just landowners, farmers, and people that own land. And so we need to be able to tell the public more broadly about that. So it's all about this investment readiness piece, getting ready, as you heard today from Darby about our success with water and some of the things we're working around processed water. This allows us to take a step ahead so that we're ready when all of that is complete.
Any question?
If I could just preempt for a second, so this will be even more successful if more people, particularly within that heartland area, identify their willingness or interest in selling land. One of the challenges after water and after access by road, by rail, is the challenge of assembling land. So to the extent that people identify that their lands or their interest in selling lands may help things along in terms of investment readiness. I think we have a counselor whose land is reflected on this map, if I'm not mistaken. Others who are interested should also identify where they have lands that I apologize if I'm mistaken, but I believe that I heard that was the case.
There's some nice parcels there. Nice size ones, yeah.
Is that an upgrade, Sean? Like that, there should be more green ones than that, isn't there?
This is what we've received to date from the public. There are a few more that are that have brokers that aren't reflected in the agreement. These are just people that don't have brokers. And so we do have more. When you go to like the realtor tab, you'll see the ones that have a broker representing. So there's a few more, yes, than this. And if people want to sign up, there's a form online. They can follow the links to register and sign up to be part of this. Or contact us and we'll guide them through the process. Very good, thank you.
One family is after investigation.
Just Lamont, no, you heard Lamont.
Yeah, all. Very low.
I move that Lamont County Committee of the Whole accept the presentation of the land ownership mapping tool as information.
All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Move that the Lamont County Committee of the Whole return back to the June 10th, 2025 regular council meeting at 10:04. All in favor? Yeah. You got, yeah, we're gonna recess for 10 minutes. Okay. Very good.
Microphone is on, video is on. And recording is started.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Guess next thing is. Directors reports.
Thank you, Deputy Reed. My turn this meeting. We've got a report that highlights, the key activities of the office of the DA. So this would include activities as well as I've had these activities generally assorted based on, goals and council strategic plan. So some of the highlights in goal number one, participated in the Life in the Heartland Spring Open House. Meetings with the Heartland Association Executive Director regarding potential future alternative cost sharing approaches. A number of water intake meetings in April, May, and June. Along with Mr. Olson and Mr. Boyd delivered the Heartland Sustainable Dues projection, so we project what revenues we expect from non-residential industrial growth and report those. I think it's a 3 to 5 year forecast. And what that does is it helps the Heartland Association plan budgeting. Yeah, then of course, participating in the Water Act approval, intake and water license approval, discussions. We identifying dates in September until October that are available for mediation. That should say mediation of water license. In terms of goal number 2, community feels safe and have good quality of life. Meeting with ACO Transmission along with Mr. Elianak. A presentation that you saw 2 weeks ago about their capital maintenance program. Meeting with the Alberta Energy Regulator, Heartland Air Monitoring meeting. Development of agendas and review of all council RFPs and briefing notes. And initial review of the fire services master plan, which council saw some weeks ago. I don't remember the specific date. In terms of goal number 3, accountability and transparency, I have to undertake many of the same health and safety requirements as the staff do. So I completed the required witness training. Participated in a municipal affairs consultation regarding amendments to the recall legislation. I'm very interested in understanding how to proceed with recall legislation in absence of a code of conduct bylaw. I participated in the Ag Service Board summer barbecue. Actually, I did not. I was supposed to, but I was ill. Yeah. Negotiated and arranged the August orientation for aspiring candidates. And again, that's likely going to be during the week of August 5th, council meetings. I delivered the first triennial report through Interpoico, reporting staff and departures, monthly to council, and review of the Local Authorities Election Act in preparation of briefings that will be in this one. And today you saw eligibility to run, and on May 13th you saw meeting dates for next votes. Next one, we got supported and prepared bylaws for consideration and approval. Rather than going through the whole list, we look at them with leisure. And then initiated building for 2 urban municipalities that have not executed the fire service and bylaw. One of the communities has since paid the bill. The other one, last I heard, is still wanting to discuss with the regional fire chief the value of the bill. Goal number 4. Kickoff meetings with WSP, our owner's representative, public consultation briefing with WSP. We are finalizing the contract with WSP, which Mr. Boyko has reviewed and satisfied with, so we're just doing one more review before we sign it. Goal number 5, we presented the draft sustainable revenue financial policy of council. Our expectation is to bring that in 2 weeks. Or you to look again and provide some insight. Apply the essence of the sustainable revenue policy in discussion with council and finally in the improvement of the 2025 tax rate bylaw. In terms of goal number 6, attended volunteer appreciation events tomorrow. Undertook leadership workshops with the senior administration team. coffee talk sessions in Division 4 and Division 1, joint health and safety meetings in April and May. Arranged presentation of $50,000 grant to the Energy Rural Academy. And supported council through that decision. Public Works and Ag Services tailgate meetings, there was 2, I don't have the other date. And held senior and team meetings every Wednesday after council and regular extended meeting. Extended leadership team meeting every second Thursday of the month. In terms of our legislative services officer, I'll present this quickly, and any questions can be referred to. It's been long. Has achieved a better understanding of Bill 50, attending RMA town hall meetings and workshops, building a structure for the new records management system in my village council 2 weeks ago. Research department needs and drafting new records management bylaw classification and retention schedule. Is acting actively as the returning officer, providing and accepting the intent to run and providing notification packages to candidates. Attended the 5 behaviors leadership training workshop with senior mentee and undertook a cultivating civility master class, one of the challenges in our industry. I think. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Discussion? Oh,
Little typo. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think we're June 14th yet.
Which was
Attended volunteer operation event in Lamont, June 14th. You're good.
yeah, myself.
we'd like to have him over for the CEO's report.
You'd like to make a motion. Make a motion that Lamont County Council accept the Office of the CEO Department activities April to May 2025 as information.
All in favor? Carried. Neil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, committee reports.
I think that's what we need this time.
I
No.
had two. I had one from Community Futures that I had and we had a presentation from Alberta Business Stills Corporation. They talked on listing their listing businesses with them. And they're very successful. Highly engaged in business management and overall 30+ years of progress experience in business, human resources management and business development. So it was a good presentation, but I thought it was Community Futures. We have a limit of $100,000, and here they're talking about millions of dollars of businesses. But it was interesting. We had yesterday the library board meeting, which was our AGM. I think Peter, you'll probably get a financial statement from them. They had at the end of the year, I don't know how this happened, but $46,000. So.
But do you read you'll recall that we now provide them with dollars directly rather than refunding their expenditure.
Yeah, that's how it happened, I guess. And that's it for me. So I moved that my futures report and the library board report to be accepted as presented. All in favor? Carried. Okay, recommendation of council accept the committee reports. Correspondence. Good.
So Deputy Reeve, I've got 6 correspondence items. The first item you saw as part of agenda item number 7.2, which was information from Verde Infrastructure, Transportation and Economic Corridors. Indicating that we were not approved for any SIP grants. The second item that you have on page 86 is information about the police funding model review. As I understand it, the Reed has responded to this.
Yes, he said he'll give a report at the next council meeting.
And then item 11.3 from Myers Norris Penny is additional information about the Alberta Police Funding Model Review and a survey. If this is something that you individually would like to undertake, Ms. Benoit can send you this email with the link, and you can undertake it. Again, I believe that the Reeve has undertaken this.
Yes.
On behalf of. And the opportunity is from June 4th to July 4th. Next, we have our regular monthly RMA district update. Very much a status update on all of the various initiatives of RMA. You'll see on page 89 the results of what they're referring to as the cabinet shuffle. Minister of Municipal Affairs is Dan Williams. You may recall he has presented at the last couple of RMA meetings as the Minister of, I think it was Mental Health. So yet to be seen what stance he takes in terms of many of the municipal issues. But the updates predictably are about the assessment model review, property tax and ability strategy, police funding, housing affordability, and then some updates on notable legislation, Bill 54, the election statutes act, and Bill 55, the health. The next item we're just dividing as another of course, it's the village of Tittman who are inviting Martin County Council to participate in the Canada Day parade. You will recall at a prior meeting, council directed administration to have council participate in all parades within Lamont County. And lastly, we've got the Battle of the Watershed Alliance June 2025 newsletter, something that you can read at your leisure. Once again, if you want to see the original, this is available on their website. Once again, if you want to see the original email, I'm sure Ms. Benoit can send it to you quite easily. So unless you think there is something here that requires specific action, we have a recommended motion to receive correspondences.
Just one question, one thing here is, on this, it's, their AGM was supposed to be on,
June 19th.
yeah, and it was supposed to be in cameras, now it's on Zoom. So anybody wants to zoom in on that? You could. Okay. Can I have a mover for to move the correspondence, please?
And move that the Lamont County Council accept all correspondence as information.
Roy, thank you very much. All in favor? Gary?
Number 12. Further down the page.
Close meeting. Okay. You have, meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion that Lamont County Council move the June 10th, 2025 regular council meeting into a closed meeting at 10:33 a.m. to discuss the following items. Enforcement activity update, section 16.1, and economic development update, section 16.1.
Shut it down.
Hold on with that.
Camera and recording.
Welcome back. We're back in open session, motions to make. Right to chair, hey,
There it is.
hey, who wants to do the first one? The Lamont County Council, accept the enforcement activity.
I'll make the motion that Lamont County Council accept the enforcement activity update from June 10th, 2025 as information and endorse actions as discussed in closed meeting.
All in favor?
No.
Carried.
I move the Lamont County Council direct administration to prepare a letter for the Reeve to sign regarding the June 10th, 2025 economic development item as discussed in closed meeting.
All in favor? Carried.
There's no other business. Adjourned. It's 36. The name is just Mark Condo.
You multitasker.